This is my second recording of the night, but it will be the fourth to be uploaded. Chances are I will have been more loaded in the two previous videos to this one, just because. All right, so now, no wonder I got new glasses after these. I'm just switching it up a little bit. Okay, this is a sample that was made possible to become in my possession through the industry of Donner Pass whiskey. It is a Deanston 20-year-old, non-chill filter, not colored, fully matured in Oloroso sherry casks, bottled at 55.5% alcohol by volume. That is considerable. So I'm going to pour me this wee sample. There we are, 30 or 35 mils of it. I can smell sherry already, even from this glass way over here. It's bottled at 55.5% alcohol by volume, so the alcohol is just wafting out of that little glass. It's got big bubbles and no troubles. Let's see what happens to the legs. I'm kind of glad Donner Pass didn't send me more of this, because if he sent me more and I drank it all, I would get quite kazooed. Let's see now. That's inconclusive. Well, there's still a couple sliding down there. That's secondaries. The primaries were fast, the secondaries are slow. Now that's interesting. Dry Oloroso. Not sweet at all. Perfect. I like it like that. If this is sulfury, I get a little bit of that. But I am not that sensitive to the sulfur. If there's some sulfur involved with the sherry casks, I generally tend to enjoy it. There are others who just go like this to it, and I can't stand the stuff. They can't stand to have any sulfur note in their sherry matured or sherry finished whiskey. But I get some sulfur, and I don't find it offensive at all. I like it. Yeah, it's quite all right. Yeah. There, these glasses have to be on totally crooked to look straight. This is the first pair of glasses I had, prescription glasses I had. And as I look through them now, I'm a little bit blurry. I don't wear these very often. But back to the whiskey. We're not talking about prescription eyeglasses. We're talking about whiskey. There. Yeah, I get that Oloroso sherry, and I get a little bit, which to me is a little bit of that sulfur. Deanston 20. Interesting. I taste mostly the sherry. On the nose, I'm getting matches and sherry. Now, I'm not one who's very sensitive to the sulfur, but I get it here. Definitely get the sulfur here on the palate. Definitely. And I never really got it to any extent before. The finish, if I get to the finish, it's a little bit bitter. And I don't find the sulfur to be unpleasant. I'm just saying that it's there. This is unlike any Deanston that I have ever had. Did I go to Deanston with Roy Aquavite and Whisky Jason? I think we did go to Deanston. Yes, we did. And this is unlike any Deanston I've had from a bottle, and unlike any Deanston that I tried at the distillery in the warehouse. Like I said, I'm not very sensitive to the sulfur, and the sulfur that I have had and detected, I haven't found unpleasant. But I definitely get it here. If your goal, Donner Pass, was to make me experience sulfur, perhaps the way people who are more sensitive to it experience the stuff, your mission has been accomplished. I'm going to add a little bit of water and see what that does to it. Because it is, after all, 55.5% ABV, that is a strong whiskey. And so far tonight I have had the Smoky Ben Riach, the Smoky 12, which didn't have that much smoke in it, really. It was mostly citrus. And then I had a little bit of my Shelter Point Infinity bottle while I was editing the previous video that I shot. And now I'm on this little puppy here. Which is a 20-year-old Deanston matured exclusively in Oloroso sherry cask. And I definitely get the sulfur. I don't find it off-putting. No, it's just interesting. You know, there's the sherry and there's the sulfur. And then there's a wee bit of bitterness on the finish. That sherry and sulfur are so well intertwined. They are intertwined. It's hard, you can't pick one away from the other in this instance. Or at least, shall we say, I can't. I don't know, maybe you can. For me, once you get past 18 years of age, the price of the whiskey increases asymptotically, straight up. And when that happens, it's like, for a year it's more, a year it's more, a year it's more, up to 15 years, and then it starts to go like this, if you can imagine my hand being a graph. And once you hit 18 years, the price just goes up and up and up and up. And a 20-year-old probably wasn't cheap. A 20-year-old Deanston probably wasn't cheap. And this could have been a special release. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if this is a special release. Ooh. Got some air coming up. It's all right. I'm not a big sherry bomb enthusiast. It's pleasant enough. And if you don't mind a little bit of sulfur, it's very nice. With a little bit of water, it's very nice. But the sulfur is still there. And if you're more sensitive to sulfur than I am, you probably hate this stuff. But I find it all right. There was a time when I completely despised sherry. I didn't like it at all, but I sort of grew accustomed to it. I think my first epiphany moment with sherry was when I had a Glenfarclas 15. And it was a good bottle of Glenfarclas 15. There seems to be a little bit of batch inconsistency with the Glenfarclas 15. The one that I have right now doesn't quite do it for me. I have a Glenfarclas 15, but the one that I have now does not do it for me like other bottles that I've had. Sometimes you get a bottle that isn't quite, or you get into a batch that isn't quite there. Yeah. Yeah. I would say that the addition of water has toned the sulfur note down a little bit. But, it's still there. Still there. Well, what to say? Nice little sample there, Donner Pass. Interesting. With every whiskey that I taste, I learn a little bit more. Slanchova.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.